What's up? I was just listening to this message and it was about Peter, and it kind of reminded me of sometimes in life you could be really good at something, right? And it pays the bills and whatever else, and that certainly was the case for like Peter and his brother. They were fishermen, right? Their parents might have been fishermen, right? It's just what they did. They were good at it. It paid the bills. It was comfortable. And for me, certainly that's been the case. Where back in May of last year, felt like God was saying, "Hey, I want you to step away from both your jobs." I had an online job and I worked at church, and they paid the bills well, especially the online job, and I was good at it. And then, or at least decent enough that they didn't fire me, So who knows? But in those cases, it can be pretty crazy. Where like God did not make Peter to fish. He made him to be a fisher of men. And later he changes his name to the Rock, and which is crazy. For God, like, change your name and change your whole identity for the mission he has planned for you, which is honestly pretty funny because Peter walked on water for a little bit and then sunk like a rock, when he got his eyes off Jesus and then got scared about the waves and the wind and all that stuff. But sometimes in life, like, God is going to call you out of something you've become good at to put you in a place that he made you for, to made you be great at, right? Empowered by him to go do that. And like sometimes you feel like you step out into it and you're like, just go back and do that thing, which is exactly what Peter did when Jesus died and came back. At some point, Peter just gets up and goes, "I'm going to go fish again," which is not what God made him for, which is so cool. Right? Because then Jesus meets him at the bank of the water, right? And actually helps him catch fish again. And then helps him and blesses him do the very thing that he didn't make him for, right? Which is also very interesting in like God's nature. He just likes blessing his kids, right? Even along the way to finding out what God created you for, and calls them right back into his main mission, right? As a disciple and apostle, and planting churches and leading the Jews and back to, right, leading to the Messiah, basically. And so for any of those who are in that spot who are like, I don't know, I feel like God's calling me to this thing, but it's scary. It is scary. Like Peter had to go tell his family, like, I'm going to go follow this random rabbi from a no-name Nazareth. And I do the same thing with my family. Like, I'm going to leave my stable job. And I have 4 kids, so I have like 4 of their grandkids and my in-laws, 4 of their grandkids, right? I'm going to leave my stable finances and go do something I don't know what I'm going to do because God hasn't revealed it yet. And like, it's scary. Like, it is. But I just want to make this video to encourage those who are in the shoes or have stepped into those things.